What's happening, so fam? It is Tarot Tuesday, and I know this looks really intense over here, but it's not. It's going to be very quick and to the point. You're going to be picking out rather the angel deck over here or the demon deck over here. Yes, you heard me right. I said the demon deck. Depending on the vibes that you're feeling, we're going to be picking up on what is happening in the cosmos and what is happening collectively. So here you'll be able to definitely check out what path you're mostly on. And then after this, I'm going to do some exercises on Patreon. So you can do the Star of Lakshmi exercise as well. So you can do your own tarot with the Star of Lakshmi to discover more of your soul purpose during the time of these energies. Now, it doesn't matter if you're watching this 2 years down the road. If you stumbled on this video is applicable right now in the present moment because time and space is an illusion. Take what serves you, leave the rest that does not. It is very important that you understand that. And let us know in the comment box below, like, did this resonate? Are you going through these things? Were you already aware of these things? Because a lot of times you'll notice that you're kind of like living these vibes already without fully being aware of them. And then when we do tarot, we're like, holy crap, like that's actually like a cosmic event that's happening, okay? So it's going to be a little bit of a read. We're going to start off with the center decks, and then you can use the scrub feature to basically scrub on the video to find whether or not you're on the demon deck or the angel deck. We are going to be starting off with the angel deck. But before we do that, take a deep breath. I want you to just close your eyes, let go of everything that's going on in the cosmos right now, and focus on which one of these two energies you're going to be picking. Now, if you're drawn to the demon deck, that does not mean anything negative. These are just specific cards that are going to give us an insight on the shadow. So it's rather you want to look at the light and do light work, or you want to do shadow work. If you're definitely one of those people that most recently has been called to be a divine assassin, this is going to be the deck that you're probably going to want to be drawn to. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share. If you're looking for one-on-one coaching to master shamanism, your psychic abilities, become the ultimate healer, or really just heal yourself, check out the links in the description below. You can set up a clarity call with me or one of my coaches. And then if you're a good fit, we will get you enrolled in the academy and we'll bring you to your full potential. Don't forget as well to follow us on Instagram and on TikTok. And thank you so much to everyone who's supporting us on Patreon. Your help is helping us really scale our mission. All right, you ready? Cool. So first we're going to be reading the center energies, okay? So these are the first two cards we're going to be starting off with. These two cards came out last week in our reading, and then we're going to pull out this one right here, just so that we can have it a little bit more clean. Okay. So here you're going to notice that we have the Angel of Anger and the Chariot card. Now, if you're into demonology and stuff like that, this is the cliff off of Charasith. So there's a lot of candle magic, a lot of like bringing out raw potential into our reality. The Chariot in regular tarot as well just indicates like a change of movement, rather in ourselves or in our reality. And this anger energy is saying that we are changing the energy of anger that's currently in our system. So you might have noticed that, you know, there's people who are more aggressive driving, people are willing to get in confrontations that they normally wouldn't have. You're probably having to have like these real conversations with people, letting them know where your boundaries are, right? Or where you stand on specific concepts. This is because it's a cosmic energy that's forcing us to deal with rage. If you've been waking up as well, kind of feeling a little bit angry, or you're done with people's shit, this is part of the reason why you're going to be really looking into that energy. Now, we also have the energies of Apollo, which means inquiry. It means that it's not enough for us to just be like, oh, I'm going to deal with the anger, right? You have to actually like come to a conclusion of answering why it is that you're angry, right? And how you can move this anger out of your system. For this, you need meditation. You need to be focusing on the things that are most important to you. Whether you're doing journaling, whether you're going to hypnosis sessions, your topic should be why it is that this anger is coming from, and you need to inquire where that anger is coming from. Apollo as well has a lot of anger and jealousy energy. So this can be coming from rather you don't feel good enough or you don't have enough, because jealousy can also turn into greed after some time, or even envy. So if you're dealing with any of those vibrations, envy, greed, even deception really, those are energies you should really be bringing up to the surface and answering. Not letting the energies of anger really control you during this time is absolutely vital. And that's in the center energy. This is one of the cosmic energies. So I'm just going to place this over to the side so I can easily grab the remaining center energies here before we dive. Now, the collective consciousness in general is dealing with the angel of deception here. So we know that there's a lot of misinformation that's happening right now in our reality, whether it's the news, whether it's even people trying to self-develop themselves. You can even have deceptions on yourself. Like you thought you were going in one direction and now you're realizing, maybe that's not really the vibe for me, right? Like maybe I should start being real with myself and stop deceiving myself. The reason why we're bringing ourselves to this change of perspective is because it's a cosmic judgment. This has to be happening right now. There's been a lot of deception since 2020 on like what's going on with a lot of different things in the world. Not only just like what happened globally, but also how to solve that, and what countries are actually after, what our world leaders are after. And this is causing a bit of that anger that we were seeing earlier, right? When people feel like they've been lied to, what options do they have? They have anger. And anger is a great motivator, okay? I was talking to my friends this morning about that. Anger is a great motivator. And if we can sometimes let go of the anger that's surfacing right now and we start actually like directing ourselves to use that raw force that normally is considered anger into productivity, we can get so much more done. Yes, you don't want to create things from anger because obviously that's going to be limiting at the end of the day. But one of the things that we really do have to understand that since this is a cosmic judgment and we can't change it, we're being forced to change our perception on reality, on what's actually happening in the globe, what's happening within ourselves. We're starting to see here like a very powerful message almost guiding us and telling us, hey, like what side of reality do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side that is honest, authentic, and true, or do you want to be on the vibration that is going to keep taking from you, right? So right now this is a lot of fifth dimensional energies, and it's kind of really funny because one of my classes just got taken down on fifth dimensional energy, and I kind of took that as a sign, as like we've reached a new peak. We don't really need to be talking about 5D because we're in it, right? If you're watching this video, this is your confirmation that you are in fact in 5D, okay? You might be dealing with what struggles comes with that. The whole world is in that same state. Really comes down to whether you want to be in deception or you want to be in authenticity. In the fifth dimension, one of the things that's going to happen is authenticity, meaning truth. You cannot avoid truth in the fifth dimension. It's just one of the things that really has to happen on a regular basis. So we're going to see a lot of things come out to light. We're going to be uncomfortable. We're going to be feeling those vibrations of like what to do next and how are we going to solve these issues, right? And that comes with asking ourselves who we are and what kind of world we want to live in. This is a very powerful message, a very powerful time for you to not only restructure your character, but to restructure your beliefs, the foundations that you work off of, and even like restructure your whole entire reality, letting go of things that don't serve you anymore. We're always saying that, right? Letting go of what doesn't serve you, but now is the time more than ever for you to be like, hey, you know what? I've been holding myself for such a long time for X, Y, and Z reasons. I've given enough of myself for the sake of whoever or whatever. It's time for me to reclaim that energy back and become super productive. So now that we're understanding that, let's go ahead and read these kind of energies right here, those red cards that's still tied to the cosmic energies before we dive into the next angel cards, okay? So we're going to start off in Jupiter because a lot of what's happening right now in the world has to do with finances, has to do with like the world economy shifting, like whether or not we're going to get certain commodities that we were looking for and so forth, okay? So what is happening with the cosmic energies at wealth time? Hierophant, it is coming into a new marriage. It's coming into a new creation, and it's going to be swift. It's going to be powerful with the Eight of Wands. It's telling us that whatever this shift of abundance is going to be happening, it's going to be hard hitting. And one of the things that we need to understand right now to master the art of wealth is to really start being abundant by giving, right? It doesn't really mean that you're going to give to your detriment. It means that if you have a surplus, go ahead and just like share it with other people. I have a ton of shungite. I give it to one of my friends all the time. If I have extra food, I'll give it to my friends. I'll do whatever I can in the moment to help somebody with whatever wealth that I have, right? Like, and it doesn't always have to be money, right? It could be the fact that you give somebody your time, you give them an ear, you give them a kind gesture, you give them food, you do whatever. You share the abundance that you have is the key here. And like everyone has a different form of abundance. When you hyper pinpoint what the abundance that you have is, and you start freely like sharing that with other people, you're going to notice more abundance in different ways start showing up. But first we have to disconnect from this energy of scarcity or lack mentality. Yes, the world is in a very shitty place in terms of like possible economics and like what people are going through and the cosmic energies that are affecting us right now. But at the end of the day, like if the entire economy collapses tomorrow, right? And let's say like the world economy in general collapses tomorrow, all the money that you were gripping onto so tightly, all the scarcity that you were holding on to so tightly will instantly dissolve, and you'll feel even worse when a shift happens, right? Instead, if you're constantly in the flow of giving, you know something's going to come back. A lot of times people want more abundance, but they're not willing to create flow. You have to create flow to get more abundance. And these are the energies that are speaking on behalf of the cosmos. Like, start giving what you can with others, sharing from the kindness of your heart, not even saying like, oh, I'm going to share because the cosmos is going to give you more. No, you share and you say, I don't have to worry about anything because I know the cosmos has my back. That's the mentality you need to be carrying. Now, this energy is towards the future. It's my east, okay? So this would be your east as well. This is basically talking about the future. Now, why is this future being created? Let's look at the west, which has to do with the past. The reason is because we changed like royalty or palaces or kingdoms. We changed kingdoms, and that kingdom has to reorient itself to provide the best possible situations for the people who have been wanting desperate change. So the collective consciousness has been in some sort of turmoil, saying, we need change. We want change. We want to become more conscious. We want to be able to disrupt the way things have always been created. We see that there's a lot of systems in play that aren't beneficial for the globe. It's only beneficial for a select few. The world is actually asking for this awakening, and because of this awakening that the subconscious is asking for, this is the byproduct that's going to be playing out, which is ultimately the collapse of economies, the collapse of the formal structure of economics that we've understood up until this moment. Now, what should you be doing right now? You should just be marrying the fact that you are no longer attached to the material. Wow, what a powerful message right here. This would be the highest result. And that's kind of like what we shared like earlier, right? Sharing what you have, because then you're beyond the material. You're marrying a reality that's beyond the material here. So presently, this is kind of like a mind over matter situation, right? Like if you're feeding a lot of your attention to like the things that are happening around you versus asking yourself why it might be happening to you or where this creation came from, you can get a clearer picture. So you need to be focusing on what's this experience trying to tell me versus why is this experience happening to me, right? So then we look at the north, which the north is essentially, this was the east, this was the north. So the north is telling me that this is the wisest thing that we need to be doing, okay? So the north is telling us this is the wisest thing we should be doing. The south is telling us the action that we need to take presently, which is basically to fill our subconscious with a new level of consciousness here. Now, this is basically telling us to do inner work. It's necessary for us to do some level of inner work for us to get to the next level. At the outer cosmic energies here, we have victory, saying that ultimately the changes that we're asking for as a collective, at a personal level even, is going to really help you get to the next level. Here on the outer skirts of the energies as well, we have the energy of the Queen of Swords. It says that we still have a little bit of a battle, especially the Queen of Swords is associated to anger as well. So when this card comes out, it kind of reinforces what we read right here, which is going to be a little bit more of anger being summoned in our reality. Then we have Magician. This is all happening so we can understand the power that we own internally as alchemists, as healers, as light warriors, as the collective. Like, we as a human species have so much potential, and we've been robbed of that potential by false beliefs that come from our cultures, that come from our religions, that come from our governments. So it's very, very important at this time for you to be recognizing that if you're feeling this itch to react, to change, to become better, to defy the system, to even defy the way reality works, because a lot of us are getting called to this energy of saying, you know what? like, I don't want to manifest that way that everyone's manifesting anymore. I feel like that's outdated. Oh, I don't want to, eat the same way I've always eaten. I want to start eating differently so my body feels better. If you're feeling this defiance in reality, it's all natural, because we are starting to see beyond the illusion. We're starting to see the irrationality of holding on to certain realities that are no longer working for us. We've tried certain systems over and over and over again just to realize that they fail and they have nothing of benefit for us whatsoever. So there, we have the cosmic energies at play. We've been able to read them. Now we know what's going on in general. Let's go ahead and read the outskirt energies right here. These are going to tell us the final pieces to what's to come ahead after this particular shift is done, and then we're going to dive into both of these decks right here as well. So on this corner right here, we have the Angel of Mercy, and then we have the Angel of the Mountains. So this is an energy, basically this is a dualistic energy right now. It's telling you, okay, well, some of you are creating a new foundation altogether. You guys are rebuilding yourselves. You're probably even destroying certain things. You're starting to learn more about your character and who you are as this powerful being. And others have to go through a series of mercy, which is basically saying like, okay, well, I'm going to forgive people. I'm going to be more compassionate. I'm not going to take things so seriously. And there's a lot of ways that mercy can bring itself up into your reality. Like, I have a friend that, got out of a relationship and then wants to get back in a relationship, and that person isn't the best fit for them, or it's not the healthiest relationship, right? But having mercy, you're understanding it's their life that they have to live, right? Like, you have to respect their wishes, even though you wouldn't do it. And maybe, yeah, it does bother you that they're going to repeat a pattern possibly, but it's not your place to actually like do anything or get angry over, right? All you can do is focus on yourself and focus on your own energies. There's a lot of different situations that are happening this way for a lot of people. You're even probably starting to realize how certain people have been two-facing you for a hot minute, and now all of a sudden you realize who they really are, and you have a choice to be rather angry or to ultimately let go of this energy and be like, you know what? We had a good ride. This is as far as we got. It is what it is, you know what I mean? I send them love. It's a very interesting energy. The mountain energy is basically asking you, hey, do you want to keep doing the things you've been doing? Do you want to be that person? Have you gotten bored with the structure that you've created? Change it. Be okay with changing. If you do changes knowing that you're going to have the ultimate outcome be on your favor, you are manifesting that situation by taking action and changing, even though it's crazy, and you're still saying, you know what, I'm changing this. I'm going to be like gravy on the other side, no big deal. Like, it's going to be a bumpy ride right until I get to the very end. I'm going to do it. And the cosmos is going to help you every step of the way. So really remember that the energy here is lightning. We're still dealing with lightning energies that we were dealing with last week. On this outer energy in the Demon Angel deck, we have Mirax, which right now a lot of us are downloading the energies of astronomy and liberal sciences. You might be probably going through a really intense alchemy course. You might be also having your own personal downloads, going through your own shifts, your own awakenings, your own dawnings of your character and what you could be doing. This is because there's a powerful energy of the Page of Pentacles, learning how to manifest. So if you're downloading a lot of cosmic energies, this is because of that. And it's also really good right now to start getting familiarized with other worlds, other spirits, herbology, stones, stuff like that. And the angel that accompanies the Page of Pentacles is Na-Na-El, which is basically spiritual communication, influencing people who are basically teachers, lawmakers, and also religious men. So all the things that we're dealing with right now in our current reality, these two demons or creatures or messengers, we're not going to call it angel and demon, we're just going to call them messengers. One of them is known as a typical angel, another one's known as a demon. These two energies are working in harmony with each other to give you pretty much the same result. Like, we're starting to see the unity and the deception of reality by becoming more in alignment with the cosmos. On this side over here, we have the energies of Zeus. Zeus has been coming up lately a lot in a lot of like personal work that I've been doing with people. Zeus is the leader. He is also using the energy of lightning, okay, so that he can basically smite whatever resistance there is in reality. So that right now there's a lot of that energy of like electric movement, like just raw potential that we can be using to do a lot of wonderful things. We also have the energy of Helios that comes out. And when the energy of Helios comes out, it's telling us that we're starting to see the energies of cycle, because Helios is essentially the horse that goes across the sun, right? With Apollo, and it's a very powerful energy where you can realize, okay, like every day the sun like goes around the earth, right? And there's a cycle, there's a constant circle that's happening. These circles can be broken if some chaotic vibration comes in, right? So if some chaotic vibration came over and threw the sun, through the earth off of its axis, the sun wouldn't spin in the same cycle that it would normally spin around the earth, right? So we can do that same kind of energy work with ourselves if we are essentially the earth, or we are the sun, depending on which one you want to see yourself. If you're the sun and you're basically gravitating the earth, you can create chaos in your reality, which is ultimately change. So you can move the way the earth rotates around you, and you have a new reality in which it works from. Now, that takes more so inner skill. I'm giving you analogies so you can kind of understand the kind of inner work that you have to do. But this is pretty much the gist of the cosmic energies now that are influencing everyone. So now we're gonna dive into the two final decks here. We're gonna start off here with the demon deck, actually, because the way that the cards are laid out is a little bit easier. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Okay, this is the deck that we're gonna be using. Okay, if you picked out the demonology deck, let's dive into it. Right now you're going into a divine descent, okay? And it's basically saying that you're going to like a metaphysical transformation. That metaphysical transformation is something that it's so powerful that the cosmos, the gods, the ascended masters, your guides, every portion of your cells has been asking for this change. This change is coming through, and it's gonna happen regardless of what anybody else wants to make it happen. Now these demon cards don't necessarily tell you about the future. They tell you about the mentalities that are coursing through reality right now, okay? So these are actual energy spells that are running through the collective consciousness that are affecting everyone, and you can use these energies to help your divine descent, okay? So let's go look at that. We have Phoenix, which is basically the energies of like poetry, creativity, arts, also like all forms of sciences. So right now we're having a massive download with ourselves and with our cosmos, knowing more about the templates of reality. So if you were able to watch the Angel Alchemy workbook that I gave on Patreon, you start seeing how certain energies or certain angelic vibrations will walk into sacred geometry, which then walks into modern science, which then allows us to do alchemy, bend consciousness, right? You can check that out on Patreon. But this Phoenix energy is very much so tied to what we have been talking about there. Now, the next energy that's actually happening is more geometry and more like increased intelligence. So if you ended up picking up this divine descent demonology energy, there is a lot of energy right now for these people to become extremely wise at a specific craft. It doesn't matter what craft that is. It just really is, it comes down to whether or not like you want to direct that energy. If you don't do anything with that energy, it's going to feel chaotic. You're just going to get random downloads, a download about demonology, a download about angels, a download about Hindu gods, a download about money. It'll just be very scattered and random. But if you say, okay, I want to create this one thing right now, and since these energies are affecting everyone, I can have the aha genius moment to unlock this energy. This is going to be the best course of action for you. Start really architecting your reality. The energy of Hagenti comes out, which is basically, again, tells you that it's making you wise on everything, really. It's teaching you a lot about alchemy and the transmutation of different elements as well. This is 3 times now on this deck that they're talking about divine secrets becoming revealed to you, okay? So you need to put in the work, the personal work to meditate. You need to put in the personal work to read the manuals that I've given you on Patreon, to do the meditations that I'm offering to you there, and to just literally choose to see reality in a different way. Because what's the good of doing all this alchemy if you're not choosing to make a new reality for yourself? It's almost like you're repeating a pattern without realizing it. So we have Befrons, which again is another, teaches about like planetary sciences and natural sciences. He can also teach you about a lot of agora magic or even tantric magic on this case. So tantra has a lot of different forms. It's not always about sex. It's not always about necromancy. But right now, if you're being called to Shiva or Kali, or you're being drawn to death mantras and stuff like that, or you're being drawn to demons and like more so understanding like even concepts of the angels of death, that's all because right now you are basically being called to step into that energy, step into that realm. That's your new world. You came from a dimension or a lifetime that mastered a lot of these arts, and all you're really doing is remembering what you're able to do. Now, one of the things that you need to understand, walking this path, you've been asking for like worldly power or to become rich or something like that. So if you picked out this deck right here, you have to understand that you will get what you want, but you have to change as a whole. And then the angel of annihilation comes up. Now, I believe the angel of annihilation came up last week as well with our reading, and here it is, it's coming out again. So if you had some sort of questioning factor about last week's reading and like, oh my God, whether or not I'm supposed to be a divine assassin, here's another confirmation that you should be stepping into that energy. Now, if last week you were also like a healer or some other vibration, you can also step into this vibration here and get a lot of like the juice, right? So it's a lot of good energy here if you choose to restructure your foundations, because the angel of of annihilation is all about purifying your foundations, purifying the places in which you work from, okay? So Hermes comes out with communication. Here's another like divine message on communication that's coming from that area over there. Basically, this year is ruled by Hermes, by Mercury, by Thoth. And this is what we're doing. We are seeing the deceptions. We're learning how to become more of the people that we want to be. We're going through like this amazing process that can seem scary at times, but really it's a walk in the park when you're aware of what's happening. Now since we're talking about Hermes, we're gonna go directly into these cards right here that are on Mercury. Everyone take a deep breath. All right. So in the Mercury sector, we come out first with the seed of creation. The seed of creation is basically reminding us that at the core of everything that we want to do, we ultimately must be asking ourselves, what's the true reason for creating this thing? Like, creation for creation's sake is pretty fun, and it's pretty amazing when you learn how to manifest whatever it is that you're looking to manifest. But one of the main key things here in the seed of creation is, why are you manifesting something? Sometimes you tell yourself, oh yeah, I want to become uber rich because then all my problems are going to be solved. But when you get on the other side of that, you're going to realize that you have new problems that, yes, your previous problems may have been solved, but now you have a totally different class of problems on the other side of having a ton of money. What is the seed creation? Because if you're becoming a millionaire, running away from poverty, you're ultimately going to deal with the same resonance in some way, shape, or form in your reality once you reach your manifestation. So I don't feel worthy. I got to get, a bunch of money so I can feel worthy. Okay, I got a bunch of money. I still feel unworthy. Now I have to make more money, or I have to do some inner reflection so that I can cure myself of this particular resistance. The seed of creation is what drives the vortex of your reality. If you ever have listened to Abraham Hicks, or you've studied anything about like creating vortexes and quantum science with your energy field, this is pretty much the center, the eye of the storm, the center of the vortex. This is the seed. What are you generating everything around? Is it because you're truly happy with the cosmos and how things work out for you, or is it for another reason? Now we're having this transmigration energy. If you ended up picking this deck with the Mercury card, it means that we are getting to know ourselves more profoundly. It might seem a little bit challenging at times. We're being asked to transform. You might have been getting these prompts that you should be waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, or maybe you should change your diet, or maybe you should take some time to work on yourself, or maybe there's this new career opportunity you should be taking. There's something different that's being summoned right now that's asking you to move. Okay, you have been asking for something. Now you have to move to get it. Okay, now even though time and space doesn't exist, your ego is still operating off of time and space, because it's your ego that wants to have the experience. It is not really truly the fully highly intelligent version of yourself, the ascended version of yourself, that's looking for an experience, because that version of you is already interconnected with everything. Your ego is looking for a specific manifestation. If you want it, go get it. Now's the time. The next vibration that comes out is wisdom, basically telling you that if you're going to go back again for that seed, constantly monitor the seed, the eye of the storm, the center of your vortex. Check in with yourself constantly. Ask yourself after a couple weeks, am I still on target? Is this still what I want? Is this still what I'm going to be doing? And am I still in reality with the creation at large? Because every creation is going to have a dualistic aspect. Whether it's love, money, or something else, there's going to be a positive and a negative that you can take with a particular situation like that. And you have to be willing to take both to accept fully the vibration of something, especially if it's in the material universe. So then we're going to go directly over here, which is tied to Pluto. Pluto is the energy of death and transformation. And they're basically telling you that when it comes to the material elements themselves, you are protected. Don't be worried about the money change or the shift in your business or whatever else that you're going through, the shift in your relationship, whatever it is that you're creating a shift for, that you're being asked to move. Know that you're protected materially or in the physical world. Now, this could be a lot of different things, right? But like if you're understanding that the material elements are essentially changing themselves around the energy or the beliefs that you have, everything becomes so much easier for you. Just continue to dive into your descent, into your transformation, and don't be afraid of what's coming next. Okay, take another deep breath. I'm just gonna orient these real quick. Now we're going to go over to Earth, okay? Now when we go over to the Earth vibration, we have the Beyond Religion card. So on Earth right now, people are definitely asking themselves what their beliefs are. Do they believe in religion anymore? Do they believe in what we've been told about reality? Do we believe the government? Do we believe ourselves even? Because if we've been fed a lie this whole entire time, couldn't we really trust our egos if our egos are recognizing that they've been living a lie the whole entire time? And that's one of the huge things that's happening right now at a global scale, is that people are realizing that they don't really know themselves because they don't know the context of reality. It's not just saying like, I don't know myself and I'm transforming. Like, I've lived an entire life that has suppressed me from knowing the extremities of the cosmos. And you might have been having these like awarenesses for yourself. If you're having these awarenesses, don't take it the negative way. Take it as at least I found out, right? Because there's plenty of people that still haven't figured it out, or they're going through the shift and they're not aware that it's a cosmology shift in general of energy, and you're just feeling like victims, right? So if you're being told, okay, well, you know, you're beyond religion, you're beyond the scope of what others believe, then you have been on the money. Now, when it comes to the energies of Neptune, spiritual love, we have the Destroyer. Again, coming back to the middle messages that have been coming from here, as well as the messages from last week. The Destroyer energy, you're being called right now to come and destroy this reality. Now, I'm going to share a personal story real quick to help you understand like one of my personal downloads. I had a download the other day that told me, okay, Axel, when you were born into a family that had a lot of chaos, and you had to experience all that chaos to find your own personal harmony. When you found your own personal harmony, you started creating your reality, right? And then now you're being asked to destroy certain things about your life until you go to that same kind of like wave cycle all over again. So you need to react, right? And I realized, well, wow, we come to this cosmos to experience creation and destruction. A lot of times we're like, oh no, destruction is negative. Oh no, we shouldn't do destruction because destruction won't serve anybody. But really, like, if you're being called to become a divine assassin, you're destroying for the greater good of everyone, right? Because you're attacking consciousnesses, energies that are creating an illusionary state. You're doing everyone a favor. And many deities across like many pantheons are destroyers when it's asked of them to be destroyers. So you really need to step into that higher vibration of self. Now, when we come over to the energies of Mars, which Mars has to do with movement and change, here we start seeing the offerings of devotion with Shiva. Shiva is the destroyer. Here you should be definitely making contracts with your spirit guides or finding a spirit guardian if you haven't been doing that already. You should definitely be doing a little bit more of like esoteric research or rituals with the beings that you really love or the energies you want to interact with. Now, it took me many, many years to realize this one little secret here that I'm about to give you, okay? Sometimes you can create a like altar or a ritual about a specific energy. Like your ultimate manifestation has its ritual. Your ultimate manifestation has its personality, right? Its requirements to be in alignment with it. Your personal manifestation can be even seen as a deity of sorts that you want to become one with. You're not putting it at a higher level than yourself. You're understanding that it's a cosmic energy that if you're not in resonance with, you will not be able to talk to or experience. Any yogi, any agori, any alchemist that has taken the time to really get to know a specific vibration, like Shiva, for instance, has had a personal communication with Shiva. Shiva will just come through and give you like messages, and you hear his voice and you see him, and it's so real. It's a vibration that actually exists. That's the same thing that's happening with all of your creations in general. So now that we know that, it's really powerful right now, again, to come back to those wombs of misery, the wounds that come from your womb, basically, that create misery. So we're born into a perception of misery, oftentimes, whether it's emotional misery, physical misery, material misery. There's some sort of misery that's inherent to the human experience when we come into this reality, and no matter how much we try to shield ourselves from it, it's just something that has to happen here in this reality. So here right now, we're not only destroying our current perceptions on reality, we're also healing ourselves from those limitations that causes misery from the moment that we were born. This is a collective experience, okay? And think about it. When you decide to destroy the energies of abusive nations in the cosmos, for instance, what are you doing? You're not only giving consciousness to the people to see beyond the illusion of the lies that they're fed, but you're also reminding people across the cosmos in the collective consciousness that they are worthy, that they deserve better, that they are able to say, no, this is not okay, and I want something more for myself and for my family. That is assuming power. So when you decide to do destructive energy magic, it's not always a bad thing. It's actually something that is beneficial. This reality is dualistic. If you're only comfortable creating, you still haven't understand the power of reality. And in this process, you discover individuality, okay? And by finding individuality, you see the many facets of yourself, right? You're a multidimensional being. You are one person when you hang out with your mom, one person when you hang out with your brother, another person when you hang out with your significant other, another person when you're at work, right? You're a multidimensional being. That means that if you're not kind of like working on yourself and even discovering the dimension of you as a destroyer, not just the dimension of you as being a creator or a manifester, you're going to see the full potential of what you're capable of doing. But until you start doing that personal practice to dive into that energy personally, you won't be seeing those shifts. Now we go over to Jupiter. In Jupiter, it says the approaching guru comes. This energy is very associated with the fact that you're finding your inner guru by going through this descent into your divinity, okay? You're going into the shadow and you're diving into a shadow that actually isn't dark. It's a shadow that seems dark. It gives the illusion of darkness, but in fact it is bright. It is beautiful. And on the other side of the illusion is power. It's the answer that you have been looking for this whole entire time. But you need to understand that in order to reach this state, the greatest reward here is self-mastery. That's the biggest, hugest payout that you're going to be experiencing with this deck over here. The only way you're going to do that is if you start walking through basically the hoops that you've been experiencing in your reality. Remember, you have to have the energy of tolerance. That's one of the changes that happen. Just because you learn how to do destructive alchemy doesn't mean that you can just use it willy-nilly. You need to have tolerance, understanding that people are also going through their own experiences. People aren't always going to be able to see the bigger picture. So you have to have a different mentality. With great power comes great responsibility. And then we have the energies of Venus. The energy of Venus comes up with sacrificial offerings. Now, sacrificial offerings sometimes makes people feel uncomfortable, but really what it's trying to tell us is that we have to be the sacrifice. We have to be willing to sacrifice ourselves for the creation, the seed that we've put out into the world. And it's a great example. One of my personal lessons has been I have to wake up way earlier than I normally would feel comfortable getting up at. And I've been forcing myself to do it. I've been doing it. I'm going steady. Is it hard? Absolutely. But I know that the seed that I put into the cosmos states that I have to be waking up at this time to accomplish the things that I want to do. Today, I probably have done more than I've done like in a long time, okay? So it's one of those things that you really have to put yourself in this place of, am I willing to put myself on the chopping block? Am I willing to say, okay, energy, cosmic energies, my manifestation that I'm looking for, consume me, take me, transform me, rebirth me? Am I willing to say that? If you're not, then you don't really want it that bad. You are just a liar. You're deceiving yourself. Remember, you're looking at an illusion. Finally, we come to these energies right here, which is Saturn. The Saturn energies tell you to remember to have calm meditation. This should be part of your practice, some sort of mantra work, and that you're changing bodies, okay? This is a very powerful one. You're changing not only your physical dimensional bodies, but you're also changing your astral body, your ancestral body, your inner child body. You have many bodies, many personalities, and all of them are going to be coming out right now during this time to have a very powerful shift, okay? So don't forget that part of the alchemy is always going to be you, okay? We're being asked to make major shifts in our reality that bring us to the highest conclusion that we see for ourselves, okay? This is a lot about energy work. It's a lot about different transformation. And if you're falling into any of the outer categories, right, you're being asked to rather be merciful or start focusing on your foundation. Since this is talking a lot about foundation, this is going to be more so the energy of the angel of the mountain that's coming out for you, okay? Remember to stay communicative with this angel energy over here, okay? And remember to step into a new way to transcend your cycles in general, okay? All right. That was deck B. So now we're going to be going into this deck right here, okay? Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, support us on Patreon. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's dive into the cosmic energies that are here. So the main cosmic energy here is the Angel of Snow. Now the Angel of Snow came out last week. If you ended up picking out those deck that was very similar, if you're still on the Angel of Snow from last week, you are doing amazing, okay? Same thing if you ended up picking up the Angel of Destruction on the other side. Now, the Angel of Snow is asking you to put purification into your reality. The main energies here that we need to be really focusing on is purification. Whoa! And then here we have another Angel of Snow that comes out. I did not orchestrate this. This is literally a double Angel of Snow telling you that right now your main focus should be purification. Rather, that's purification for yourself, purification for other people, or purification for the realms of reality. Like, there's a lot of purification statements that we can make out of this, but pretty much is like some level of purification is summoning itself in your reality. You know what it is that has to be done. go fucking do it. All right, so then we come out with the Hierophant energy of Hazel, so Haziel, sorry, and it's basically bringing us back to that divine forgiveness. Now here we see the resonance here of divine forgiveness with the angel of mercy, and one of the things that this is reminding us is to forgive friends, forgive specific favors that have gone unanswered, and to make sure that you're securing your promises. If you promise something, make sure that you're keeping that promise. Keep tabs on who's returning energy for you and who's not returning energy, and just be aware of what's going on, right? We have Jaleel, which is all about love and wisdom, victory for those from those who would attack you. So right here is another energy reminding you love, joy, wisdom, right? Being able to forgive people, that's the answer. When you forgive and you have mercy, you have compassion, you're going to find the secrets to your cosmos. You're going to unlock more magic overall. Again, here we have another one telling us about bringing great success to your endeavors. If you apply wisdom, then we have the ability to influence the conspiracies that are happening in our world. So this is purification towards the conspiracies of our world. That is a very, very powerful message that is coming out here with the Angel of Snow. Like, you need to, first of all, forgive other people and let go of the bullshit that you've been holding on to. And I'm sure you have really good reasons as to why, you're holding on to something. But at this point, it's no longer supposed to be there. It's like, it's not supposed to be part of the process. You need to let that go. As a byproduct of doing that, you can have a high intellect that surfaces as a talent. Here again, we're reminded on the vibrations of knowledge, blasting conspiracies with purity, knowledge. This is all about being real, really. Then once you're being real, you're going to understand the energies of unity, right? With that energy of Boudica. Now, the energy of Boudica that comes in is like, you know what you want to stand up for. You know what the cosmos is telling you. Right now is a time to start doing that inner work, to really start pulling out a lot of your divine energies, okay? Allow yourself to be the highest version of yourself. Now, when we come down to these cosmic energies, these are other cosmic energies that are affecting us all in general, but we're going to come back to it in just a second, actually. Let's just do it right now. If you picked out this deck, the two angels that come out is the Angel of the Written Word and the Emanation of Life, basically saying that you should be writing out your manifestations right now. By writing your manifestations, you are definitely tapping into a creative flow, a creative force in reality. It becomes real, believe it or not. If you're not writing, right now is a great time to be writing about the life that you want to be experiencing, writing the solutions that the world needs. A lot of times we write and we just write about ourselves, but we don't say, I manifest into the world, the happiness for all the children who feel lonely, or, you never really write those types of things that create a better general life vibration for everyone. When we're looking at the alchemy, especially for these people who are trying to do purification, you got to look at everything as a state of existence. This is the main critical thing that's most important right now in this reading. It's just your manifestations should be to benefit everyone while also benefiting yourself, right? That's the main creation here that we're going to be going through. Michael comes out with the Chariot energy again. We need to persevere. Michael is a divine weapon, a divine sword. Here we're being asked to react. We're also being asked to take that time to react, to heal, and to find pleasure with Katesh. All these energies are pretty much driving us to the highest reality possible that benefits everyone involved. Now we're going to go all the way over to the Pluto energies out here, okay? So when we come out with Pluto, we have the angels of divination and Gabriel. Gabriel is another divine weapon, and the angel of divination is basically telling you all the knowledge that they've been bringing through, you should be using maybe to, again, script what's going to happen in the future, or you should be at least using it to see what actions you can take to be a little bit more cautious of the creations that you're putting out into your reality. It doesn't hurt to be wise and to have a higher perspective on not only unity, but who you are and the things that you should be working on at an internal level. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive into the energies of Neptune. The energies of Neptune come out and they remind us of the angel of silence and the angel of the song. Right now, avoid trying to get into any confrontation with anyone or anything that's happening in reality. Now, it can be really difficult to do that at times just because people test you and you feel like you're going through your own experience. But right now, whatever energy you start putting out that's hostile is against the main vibration you're being called to produce in this reality. You producing purity is not producing hostility. You producing purity is not enabling others. You producing purity is keeping it real with your emotions on the side so you can be emotionally intelligent. Even if other people are not emotionally intelligent, this is your opportunity to practice being a higher consciousness being that isn't being triggered by the events that are immediately happening to you. A 3D being reacts to the events that are immediately happening to them. A 4D being sees the events that are happening to them and questions why is this happening? And a 5D being ends up realizing, hey, this event's happening. Why is it happening? How do I authentically feel about this? This isn't worth the negative energy. I'm not just going to invest in this, right? That's 5D level thinking. You choose your battles. You don't have to get into every battle, but you also don't have to be a sucker, right? This is going to bring up a lot of that energy of peace and happiness and growth. The angel of silence is knowing how to like shut things on and off, how to know when you need to speak and when you don't need to speak, and also just doing things from the shadows. Like sometimes you just manifest and the next time you run into one of your friends, they're like, whoa, you've done a lot of things in a short amount of time. Yeah, because I kept to my energy. I worked in what? The silence. That's right. I was singing my song in what? Silence. That's right. That's right. What was I doing? I was being a divine weapon of the cosmos, divining, gathering all that knowledge and helping the world collective get better at their life and pleasure unity energies. You know what I mean? You start thinking like that and you're like, whoa, crazy sauce. So then we have the energies of Mars. Now these are the energies that you need to be moving with in general. We're going to come out first with the energy of Nechel, which is basically telling us that, again, a desire for knowledge to dispel evil in the world. Next, we have the energy of Poyel, which is basically telling us that as we step deeper into this desire for knowledge, you're going to acquire a lot of fame and position into reality. This is a moment for you to learn a lot about self-transformation, and by the way you're going to achieve this self-transformation is to like a self level of consciousness, like a higher awareness of self, being as authentic as possible with yourself, asking yourself, which way do I want to move and why do I want to go there? Is it worth it for me, right? A lot of self-knowledge here is about how you can create and cultivate a reality that benefits you and everyone else. Here we're seeing divine blessings. As long as you're moving in these directions that are being guided to you for like divine expression, you're really going to start understanding the power that you can offer all of reality, not just the people who are immediately around you or, you know, like the things you can immediately get. This is a cosmic vibration. Right now you're being called to be of service to the cosmos, all right? And by doing so, you have more of a payout than any material object, any material possession or physical experience could ever provide you. Are you going to answer this call? I know it sometimes seems like really far out when we have those experiences or these callings, but they are real. Here we have the angel of mercy coming out a second time here in alignment with this energy. And then we also have the angel of vengeance. If you picked out the angel of vengeance last week and it's coming up again here, then you know that you're in alignment. We need to start moving. You just need to start moving into this divine knowledge of compassion. I highly recommend that you start meditating with Makahala or Kuan Yin or even the Buddha if you're really finding it difficult to find purity or to find like some sort of mercy and compassion in general for reality. They are really great at pointing out the inconsistencies that you might be creating on a regular basis. Now, the energies of Jupiter come out to the Leo, the angel of night. Right now, you're not going to be seeing a lot of physical, material changes happen. That's both good and bad, because on one level of it, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be growing, but you might not be seeing that shift. But at the same time, you won't be losing anything. So right now, as long as you're divinely answering this call right here, this energy will shift for the higher. This is almost like on pause, your abundance energies right now. Going over to Uranus. Uranus reminds us of the energy of the kingdom, which is very much so in alignment with the energy of the mountain. Basically, you're creating new foundations, a new reality, a new self-perspective, something that you can work from that actually is the highest benefit for yourself and everyone. I know I'm like kind of like repeating the same messages, but here it's just so obvious that like there's only one thing you're supposed to be doing at all. Doesn't matter where we're looking at it. There's one thing you should be doing. Versus this deck, like they also have like one thing to be focusing on, but they're going to be focusing on multiple different things. This is so clear as day. One thing: purify the world. Purify the world. When we come down to Venus comes out with Jevra, which is coming back to the energies of Mars that are over here as well, which is reinforcing that your heart needs to practice mercy, especially mercy against vengeance that you might be holding on to someone in particular. By gaining the knowledge of being merciful towards any resentment, hatred, negativity that you're holding on to, you're going to unlock the gift that you're really looking for, the divine blessings that you've been asking for. This is why this is paused. Like the cosmos is telling you, you know what, we're going to put the movement of abundance on pause for you, and we want to see whether or not you're really willing to make a severe change for the betterment of yourself and possibly the people that you're holding that resentment towards, right? Because when you hold negative energies towards anything, even the state of the world, like you're mad at our leaders, you're mad at the state of the world, you're mad at your mom, you know, whatever a negative energy you're holding on to, that's just creating karma. That's saying that you're being affected by the universe, the material universe. You're creating suffering for yourself because you're basically attached to a specific story or outcome or outline, and then that's going to obviously work against you. So the cosmos right here is telling you, you got one thing to focus on. If you want to see the blessings come through, make it happen. Be pure. Make the things you want happen. Stop focusing on anything other than this divine mission that we're coming up with. So then we end up having the angel of verdancy with Saturn, basically telling you that the changes and the resistance that you're going through is just part of the growth. It's just normal growth, just like with any other plant or system or anything that we're experiencing. You have to allow yourself to experience growth. Growth can sometimes be uncomfortable. It's like a spiritual puberty in a way. Then we come back over to Mercury, which Mercury is the last messenger, and they're saying the angel of dreams and the angel of annihilation, which is really funny because what they're saying right here is that once you're done doing this purification process, you're going to be coming right around here and you're going to be repeating everything everyone here is going. So you're going through. So here you see it's kind of like you have a little bit of purification energy that you have to work on, and then all of a sudden you're going to be called into divine assassination work, which is cleansing the world of its negative energies. You still need a little bit of growth here for you to hit that next peak, but once you're done and you've acquired your knowledge, you're going to be able to see the dream for what it is, the context of reality for what it is, and then you're going to be immediately called into this divination pattern right here. So next week, depending on how next week goes, if you end up picking out a deck that says you've transitioned on into the next stage, I want you to come back to this video in a week's time and then rewatch it just for this particular reading, okay? If next week you end up getting to a video and it's like, oh, you still have some learning to do, you still have some changes to do, it won't be applicable for you then. Wait until they tell you you got the green light and then come back to this video, okay? Absolutely important that you keep that in mind because that's going to make it super easy for you to navigate the possibilities. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, support us on Patreon. Thank you so much if you're supporting us on Patreon. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, don't forget to check out the links in the descriptions below so I can definitely sit down with you and have a connection to see if you're a good fit. Thank you so much, and I will catch you on the next episode.